We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
There's those stories that cross over. News to sports. Sometimes you don't even realize they cross over until, well, you dig deep. And this one's a tragedy, and I don't know how much you watched it last night. Maybe we're getting somewhat numb to mass shootings, or you were watching the Rockies blow a lead, or whatever it is you were doing last night. But it was late in the day where a shooter walked across a public plaza in New York City carrying an AR-style rifle and walked into a building and shot and killed people. It happened to be the building that houses the National Football League, and it seems that the NFL was the target. Good morning, boys and girls, and good Tuesday to you. By the way, the Rockies came back and won after blowing that lead. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. How you living?
What'd it do?
It's a lot. Did you catch? I mean, by now everybody knows what happened in New York City, but when this broke yesterday, it hits your Twitter, it hits whatever timeline it is you're looking at. Did you pay much attention to the shooting at the office building in New York City yesterday?
I follow it because it was one of the major breaking news stories yesterday.
Yeah. But I mean, did it interrupt your life at all last night? Did you watch? I mean, go on with your.
I honestly watched kind of the news and sports is about the same yesterday.
Yeah,
I did.
I did flip over and kind of watch the cable news coverage of it for a while, and then this all started to come out this morning, or I guess late last night, that this gunman who allegedly killed 4 people, and you say allegedly, but there's 4 people dead, so I know legally you have to say allegedly, was targeting the NFL headquarters, according to a note that was found on him. Mayor Eric Adams of New York said he seemed to have blamed the NFL. The NFL headquarters was located in the building, and he mistakenly went up the wrong elevator bank. That was a quote. There was a rambling note that was found on this person whose name is Shane Tamora. Evidently, he drove from Las Vegas, Nevada, to New York City, and he has a history of mental illness, claims that he had CTE from playing football. He played high school football, and was blaming it all on the National Football League, that he suffered from chronic, it's called, and I'm going to butcher the word, it's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, I believe is it, encephalopathy. I can't say it, but it's a brain injury. played a couple decades ago, according to reports, in California, played high school football. This note that he had claimed that he suffered from CTE, the degenerative brain disease, and said that his brain should be studied after he died. And it also specifically referenced the National Football League. So evidently he went in, he shot the officer at the desk downstairs, shot another officer. One NFL employee is in critical condition. He went up the wrong elevator bank and shot somebody that works for the firm that runs the building, and then he shot himself. The NFL employee seriously injured is in the hospital. Roger Goodell put out a memo to employees. Quote, Roger Goodell, one of our employees was seriously injured in this attack. He's currently in the hospital in a stable condition. NFL staff are at the hospital. We're supporting him and the family. We believe that all of our employees are otherwise safe and accounted for, and the building has nearly been cleared. That was last night. End of quote. And added more security. I bring this up and I lead with this morning, JJ, because it's the NFL, but it's reality, and you never know where it's going to come from. The NFL is going to go on with business as usual. They will hold their Hall of Fame game tomorrow night, to the best of my knowledge. But this tragedy was there, and when you got 4 people dead, I don't know. There was a lot going on yesterday. A lot of big stories. The Deion Sanders story was a big story. Ryan Sandberg is a huge story. But when a guy walks into the building and goes to target the NFL office, just blazingly walking in carrying an AR rifle, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, when we found out that news this morning, what he was targeting, it's the fact that more people were not injured and or killed in this when you walk into an office building with a rifle. It's just mind blowing, and there was a lot going through that man's head, and he, for some reason, that I don't know, it's the NFL's fault.
Yeah. So we'll keep you up if more comes in on this, and hopefully the news will be that the people who were shot that are still who are alive are going to get better. But just want to bring you up to date on that because boy, that'll hit you in the face. And so that was the story. But yeah, I kind of got diverted last night, went down the rabbit hole and watched the cable news on that. All right, lots to do today, man. Lots to go through. 505-246-0610 is the number to get in today. Emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, the OD and the AM. You can get anything from the Rocky score in 4 in the 9th against Cade Smith last night to come back and win in Cleveland 8-6 after blowing a 3-0 lead. We're going to get into what Deion Sanders had to say. JJ, Deion was going to be my lead. The Ryan Sandberg thing, did that hit? Do you remember Ryan Sandberg at all? Are you too young for Ryan Sandberg?
He was not my era of baseball watching growing up.
There are many, many Cubs fans, and certainly a generation, right? I think the older generation, Ernie Banks was their dude, right? And he was Mr. Cub. There's a generation of baseball fans, Cub fans, who their favorite player was Ryan Sandberg. And I met Ryan. Ryan was a Spokane, Washington guy, and would come back to Eastern Washington quite a bit. He passed away. He was 65 years old. He'd been battling cancer. It was prostate cancer. He had chemo, radiation. He said in August that he was cancer-free, and then he posted back in December that the cancer had returned and spread to other organs, and that he was fighting and looking forward to making the most of every day with family and friends. And obviously he succumbed yesterday. Ryan Sandberg was, first of all, a Hall of Famer. As solid, as good of a player. He's one of the guys, JJ, that you can be really good, be a Hall of Famer. If he was on teams that won championships, I do believe he would be considered one of the greats of all time. And I know the show before us, I was listening coming in, they were arguing, screaming at each other. That would Derek Jeter be the same if he was in Kansas City? Would he be considered the same if he had the same career, but he was in Kansas City or I would argue Chicago? And Derek Jeter is elevated to a certain status, A, because he was great, but B, he was the captain of a team that won 4 World Series, right? Rhino was not. 20th round pick. He wasn't, he didn't come up that way. He wasn't, that guy. But he was a 10-time All-Star. He won the Home Run Derby as a second baseman in 1990, 9 Gold Gloves, and just a legend. He was the National League MVP in 1984 when he hit .314 with only 19 home runs, but 84 runs batted in. And that was the year the Cubs won the National League East, and they lost to the Padres in the NLCS. Ryne Sandberg also somewhat, JJ, was on that first rung of changing the impression of second baseman, that they could be power hitters. Now, you say 19 home runs, not a power hitter. Check the era, but he also, he hit 280 something over his career. He wasn't just that slap, number 2 hitter, second baseman. He, Robbie Alomar, right in that era, were second baseman who had incredible range and would hit for power. This was like this generation, and I say this generation, some generations, Mr. Cub. There's a group of people out there listening right now that was their dude. That was their all-time favorite Cub. Him and maybe Andre Dawson in that era, but in an era where, boy, they just weren't very good. They just weren't that good. But he was as beloved as there was. So that goes down yesterday as well. And he had 40 home runs in 1990. Second baseman didn't hit 40 home runs, dude.
No.
I'm not sure they do now. Right? The second baseman's not. If you were going to say, what's your least power position in everywhere in your lineup, it's usually your second baseman, right? Maybe your catcher, right? But he was something else. So the Cubs president of baseball operations, his name is Jed Hoyer, said, quote, he was a superhero in the city. You think about Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, and Ryne Sandberg, all here at the same time. And I can't imagine a person handling their fame better, their responsibility for a city better than he did, end quote. I mean, so does that put in perspective for you?
Yes, it
Put
does.
him in the same perspective as Jordan and Walter Payton. So that was a loss yesterday that kind of came out. I don't know if it came out of nowhere, but kind of came out of nowhere. All right. Louisville football camp is going to open up tomorrow. 9 o'clock this morning, Sean Ryder is going to be in studio. JJ, I'm looking forward to this because he's been on the beat the whole time. As we sit there and look at lists, we look at the list because he put them together, right, of names on paper of who they are. I want to get into Louisville football and what's fair to expect, and kind of get you a pre-camp rundown with Sean Ryder, the beat writer for the Albuquerque Journal, and B, I'm tired of Grammer getting all the love. Grammer's really good. And he's Louisville basketball. And he's a terrific self-promoter, and he's got as good of a Twitter handle and Twitter page as there is. But I want to give Sean Ryder a little love because I think he does a good job.
He's done a great job. I appreciate the duty. He's stepped in a couple times, and you've been out and held it down. And I think you're going to be hearing a lot more of him this season.
Good. All right, so he'll be in at 9 o'clock. When we get back, I want to get into what Deion had to say yesterday. There's a lot happening in the National Football League. We're open for business today at 505-246-0610. Come on in today, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. That's me. The other guy over there, him, that voice you just heard, the voice you hear every day, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Adrian's in today, producing as he always does. We're on TV, Xfinity Channel 26. You can watch us on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. When we get back, let's get into what Deion had to say, because pretty amazing, actually, as he sat there and explained his situation and the way he's been handling this thing. And Deion's Deion, man. Everything's a show. And maybe, was that a show last night or yesterday afternoon? I don't know, but boy, the meat of it, pretty serious stuff. So we'll get where Deion is when we get back. Getting engaged, thinking about a ring, thinking about jewelry, stud earrings, watch. John Thomas Jewelers, your place. John Thomas Jewelers is my jeweler. They will be yours the second you walk into the building. It's different, man. It's not some mall jeweler, and that makes it good. That's a good thing. Their state-of-the-art design center right there in the shop. They will create anything you want without sending it out. I love what they do. And this is amazing. The no regrets engagement ring. So you're getting engaged. They currently have over 3,000 men's and women's bridal sets for you to go look at, try on. But if you don't see exactly what you want, they'll create something for you. They'll design it. They'll custom make it. You'll see it in 3D. They'll preview it in 3D printed wax before they make it in precious metals. And if she ends up wanting something different after you propose, even after you propose, you have an entire year to redesign at no penalty, even on custom-made rings. Nobody does this. Plus, their rings come with a free lifetime nationwide warranty. Their diamonds are hand-selected by John Thomas Jewelers in Antwerp, Belgium, which is the diamond capital of the world. That means you can't find a finer, better diamond anywhere. It is the No Regrets engagement ring, and it's exclusively at John Thomas Jewelers. Go by and visit them. 3rd floor, Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. See why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 5 straight years, voted one of the coolest jewelry stores in America. It is John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Steve from Michigan said it's what happened last night, and with Ryan Sandberg passing away, a little Cubs fact. The Cubs were the last team to get lights. The date was 8/8 of 88. I did know they were the last team to get lights. I remember when they only could play day games. I remember how big of a deal it was at Wrigley Field and all the neighbors in the hood when they actually played night games. They still play day games every Friday when they play at home. But yeah, it was, relatively recently, 1988. When they started playing night games, they finally got lights at Wrigley Field. That is a fact. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Thanks for finding us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. All right. JJ, 3 weeks ago when I was in Frisco, I think it was 3 weeks ago. I told you the Deion thing was almost surreal, right? All the coaches at the Big 12 Media Day got up and did their thing, and Deion was last on the schedule. Deion Sanders, the Colorado coach, and there's an entourage. Everybody was right on time. Deion runs on Deion time, but he stole the show. And when he did he was up there for a round table kind of a thing with 7 other coaches, and he alluded to his health issue, but didn't get into any details. Did you? Let me put it this way. Were you surprised at the announcement yesterday that he had aggressive bladder cancer? He underwent surgery to remove his bladder, like it was that severe.
Yes,
I was too.
Anyone tells you you have cancer, I'm going to be. It's shocking.
Well, you knew something serious was going on, right? He'd been away from the team for a long time. There was a secrecy about this, which I respect. I have no problem with that at all. I guess I just was a little bit surprised when I heard the severity of it and everything that went down. They take your bladder out. Doctors say that he is cured, which is a crazy word when it comes to that. They removed the tumor. They removed the bladder. And according to doctors, since the surgery, there's been no traces of cancer. That Deion will be able to coach this season. The doctor, she said that he is cured of cancer. And she said she doesn't use that word lightly. I thought that was huge. This is story A of a man who's a legend fighting something, and B, I think, of medical advances, right? Because this probably kills you 10 years ago. I thought he was so perfectly Deion at the press conference yesterday. The mix of humor, the mix of seriousness, the whole thing, the message, go get treated, explaining the best he could what went on. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I sat there and I don't dislike Deion. I actually kind of like Deion. I don't know that I'm a huge Deion fan. I like him. I'm entertained by Deion. I absolutely respect what he's done at Colorado, JJ. But I got an amazing respect for him after yesterday, even more.
I think yesterday humanizes Coach Prime. Anytime you have a moment like that, it brings it back to reality where it's not about a show, it's not about an act, it's just about a human being and what he was going through. And as you mentioned, we knew it was something that was serious health-wise. But when it's announced cancer, had his bladder removed, all the stuff that he went through, that's going to perk your ears up, and it's going to get your attention as a human being, and even looking at who he is. But he held his press conference like you would expect him to. He was open, honest, and still himself as much as he could be.
He said at one point, and look, sometimes humor helps you get through it, right? I mean, he implored people, go get checked. And he talked about how good God has been to him. He said, quote, "I can't pee like I used to." Then he'd laugh. He said, I depend on depends. I'm making a joke of it, but it's real. It's real. It's real. You see a porta potty on the sideline, it's real. I'm just telling you. You can see one at practice on the sideline. It was part of his quote. He said that he's hoping that by disclosing what he had, it's going to spur people to get examined for all kinds of cancer. And he basically is joking about the bladder cancer that'll help those who are going through the same surgery and recovery avoid being embarrassed. It's a lifestyle change. But he's going to be out there. He's going to be coaching. And he said he did not tell Shedeur or Shiloh or Travis Hunter the severity of what he was dealing with. He said he didn't want them to be distracted as they were going through the draft and trying to make their teams. This is pretty insane, man. I was trying to equate it to something that I've seen before, and I'm not sure I could. There's been people who were up there that talk about medical issues and fights and heart attacks, and but I guess Deion's maybe different in the fact that he's just going to go back and he's going to coach this year. I thought was crazy. It's going to be interesting to see the sentiment as college football season plays out. You know, Deion reminded people that he's up there with 8 toes, right? That he's had the blood clot issues and he had toes removed over the last couple of years. He's gone through a lot. And yet done pretty amazing things as a coach and turning the program around. I don't know. I don't care, honestly, if this sways public sentiment, although I will be interested to see how people respond. I know people who love Deion. I know people who just can't stand Deion in regards to how he treats people, the media. He's pretty real. I mean, you know what you're getting there. But I am interested in watching now. And it did pique my interest a little bit more in Colorado. And they were 9-4 last year. They went to the Alamo Bowl. But I was interested anyway because it's the first time he's coaching without Shedeur, without Shiloh, without Travis Hunter for that matter. But now I'm even more interested in it.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner, best player in college football last year, just as big, if not bigger, than not having Shedeur Sanders playing quarterback to cover up some of the warts that they had offensively, especially on the offensive line. But Coach Prime, what did he do? He got a 5-star quarterback in at the transfer from Liberty. He's got that mix of young, exciting freshman with the kind of been there, done that guy. Let's see what the Buffs look like this season.
Yeah, you're talking about Caden Salter, the transfer from Liberty, and Julian Lewis, who's a 5-star recruit, the number 2 player in the country, according to the ESPN Top 300. So, yeah, they'll be a fun watch. They will be a fun watch, but that was something. I'm curious if you had a reaction to. You can get in on Deion. 505-246-0610. All right, when we come back, let's go around the NFL. There's news coming out of Browns quarterback camp. The Broncos extend their best receiver. Another injury on the offensive line for the Cowboys. The Colts quarterback situation. Anything but settled and quite interesting. So we'll go through camps next. 505-246-0610. Come on in. If you've been the victim of a property crime break-in, business, home, or if you have it, you know someone who has. It's Albuquerque. You know too well that there's just not enough police officers to cover all the calls that they get for service. It's not their fault. They just don't respond quickly. It takes hours, if not days. There's not enough of them. But when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, you require quicker response. So how about 7 minutes or less? That's the typical response time for customers of International Protective Service. I am an IPS client. I've trusted them for years. IPS has officers strategically placed around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. They provide standing guards if you would like eyes on your property around the clock. They will install alarms and camera systems. They've got a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7. This all raises the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home when you're not there? Look, maybe you got another vacation coming up this summer. Maybe you're just not there during the day because you're at work. Who's watching your home? Make sure it's the good guys. A quick response to your alarm or standing guards at business. That's what IPS does, and you'll sleep better at night. 505-897-2420 is their number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
The Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. That's coming up on Thursday. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Camps are open, camps are popping. There's a lot going on. Signings, holdouts, injuries. And we'll start with the Cowboys. Because, JJ, their offensive line, man, it is – I mean, it's too early to have this many injuries. It wasn't a major injury, but when you tell me a guy is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a bone fracture, I consider that relatively major. Their left tackle, Tyler Guyton, they feared a torn ACL in his right knee on Monday. It's a bone fracture. Recovery 4 to 6 weeks. No surgery. The ACL was intact. There was initial thought that's what it is. So I guess that's good news when a guy only has a bone fracture and he's out 4 to 6. But it's early, and that's the second hit this week.
It's great news compared to what could have been. Fractured bone versus season-ending injury. Yeah, it's going to affect them longer than 4 to 6 weeks, coming back from that, the pressure, everything that goes into a knee, especially when you're an athlete of that size. So it could have been worst-case scenario, losing a left tackle for the season. but you expect a couple weeks in to be able to get him back and protecting the blind side of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, remember, this is the guy that was their first-round pick a year ago. He started 15 games for the Cowboys last year. They claim he had a productive off-season in terms of changing his body and his game and working on everything. So that's an issue. They've got Asim Richards, who made one start at left tackle last season, Akeem Adeniji, and Ajini Cornelius is potential replacements there. So you got a little bit of I say a little bit. You got some offensive line problems early with the Cowboys and certainly with depth. Cortland Sutton, Broncos' best receiver, extended 4 years, $92 million. My math tells me that's an average of $23 million a year. I know that his annual salary is going to be 14.1, but with the bonuses, it averages out to 23. Feels like a good move. Feels like the right number. Feels like they're happy. Feels like there wasn't noise with this. Like JJ, good for them to get the stuff done right now. For a franchise that for a while had been doing nothing right, I feel like the Broncos are on a little bit of a roll.
There's a lot of buzz. People really buying into Bo Nix, Sean Payton, what they were able to do last year, get to the playoffs for the first time since Peyton Manning was quarterbacking the Denver Broncos. And Cortland Sutton, this is a really good deal for a player that can flash, coming off a career high 81 catches last season. Like, that's like the area you want to land in. It's the player realizing he's not getting $40 million per year.
Yeah, and I think he gets it.
He's getting a very good extension for him and the team. Far and away wide receiver one for the Broncos. Built a ton of trust and chemistry last year with Bo Nix, and that's why things are buzzing around the Broncos, especially when you look at the development of the young quarterback. But then it's like, oh yeah, the defensive player of the year was Patrick Surtain, the cornerback. And the pieces that they've invested in a first-round pick opposite him this year in the secondary.
No.
Stocks are going up.
It's trending uphill, and they're interesting, man. I don't know if I think like I told you, I'm not picking anybody to beat the Chiefs until someone beats the Chiefs. It's just been too long, and every year there's a reason. Well, they're not going to be this good. I think the Chiefs are still pretty nice. I still would pick them to win that division, but I do think the Broncos are the next best team. I know everybody's on the Chargers, and it's just trends, man. Until trends change, long trends like the Chiefs dominating that division, like the Chargers being overhyped every single offseason, I just got to see it at some point. You know what I mean? Like who do you think is a better team, the Chargers or the Broncos?
I think the Broncos have the edge defensively.
Absolutely. Although I think the
because
Chargers
they
defense
both
is
did
pretty
the
nice.
same thing last year.
Yeah.
Get the playoffs and lose.
Yep. Well, the Chargers didn't make the playoffs, did they? Last year? The Chargers 2 years ago made the playoffs, but I don't believe they made the playoffs last year, did they? They could have. I don't think they. Maybe they did. Who were the wild cards? It was the Steelers, the Broncos, and who's the other wild card? You might be right.
They lost to the Texans.
They did.
They were 11-win team last year.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly you forget that, right? Yeah, I guess they are the same thing. Got to see it. Browns camp. So this is one of the most interesting quarterback situations in all the camps. And Kenny Pickett, from the people who were at Browns camp, evidently was the guy that might have been leading. The guy that you thought would be the guy out, right? There's Joe Flacco, there's Dylan Gabriel, there's Shedeur Sanders. Then Kenny Pickett went down with a hamstring on Saturday. Kevin Stefanski's the head coach there. Quote, I don't have a timeline. Something like this, we'll see how it goes. But the mindset, my mindset, we'll just go day to day. That was his quote. He said he knew Pickett hurt his hamstring when he left the practice field. It was confirmed later. Adam Schefter said on Sunday Pickett's expected to be reevaluated later this week. But it was Pickett and it was Flacco who were splitting first-team reps. And for now, it is all Flacco getting first-team reps. I thought I told you I thought it was going to be either Flacco or Dylan Gabriel. Does this give it to Flacco, do you think?
I think this does, depending on just how much time Kenny Pickett misses. And that's the crazy thing about these veteran quarterbacks. They should look good in camp, so these rookies have to do something really good to show, hey, you should start me. And when it's not number one overall pick, where it's like Cam Ward, which is a no-brainer, start over Will Levis even before Will Levis was injured. In this situation, can Dylan Gabriel show enough versus Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett? And I don't think that's being the case. I think it's going to be Flacco or Pickett that starts the season.
So I firmly believe Dylan Gabriel's ahead of Shedeur. And I think they're going to give, as much as the noise about Shedeur Sanders, and as much as Shedeur comes in with the hype and you maybe know more about Shedeur Sanders, which is crazy that you know more about a quarterback of a 9-4 team that lost the Alamo Bowl as opposed to the quarterback of the team who was number one in the country that won the Big Ten, that had a bye in the college football playoff, right? I mean, I just put it in that perspective. The guy who was the quarterback of the number one team in the country, that was Oregon. They were the number one seed. They were the team who won the Big Ten. They were a team that got a bye in the CFP. And so many people are just over. Oh, by the way, he was the third-round pick, and Shedeur was fifth. But all the noise about the fifth-round pick of the guy that was on the 9-4 team that lost the Alamo Bowl, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to put it in perspective for you, who the other guy is. That's why I firmly believe, JJ, if it's relatively even, if it's head-and-head, Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, they're going to probably go with the guy they got a little bit more invested in, aren't they?
I would think that. Training camp is showing that. Sanders is operating as QB4.
That is correct.
He is behind Dylan Gabriel.
Yes. As it would line up as you go in.
Then there might be some pressure from above, because that's really the only reason that you'd bring in Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round after already selecting Dylan Gabriel. Is probably ownership got in your ear and go, why not? Why not bring him in? But as it's playing out, the path to the first opportunity, it's going to be Dylan Gabriel, the rookies.
I think that's where this was headed the whole time, unless they got to camp and Shedeur just completely outshined him. And I think that's what people expected. And I say people, it's the people who are on the outside listening to the noise. The people who said, how could Shedeur fall from a 1 to 5? We all said that. None of us expected him to go. But if he was projected as a 1, and he was on everybody's board, everybody can sit around and say whatever. I knew he was going to fall. You didn't know he was going to fall to 5th. Not one of you people with a microphone, experts, me, you, nobody has Shedeur Sanders going the 5th round, right? So I guess the mindset of that is, well, I got a first-round talent in the 5th round. Maybe he's better than the guy picked in the 3rd round. But I think reality tells you the guy that they invest in the 3rd round in is going to get, especially, if he's even, and look, if they evaluated him higher, I'd love to know the truth on that too. Do you believe on their board going in, sheer talent-wise, they had Dylan Gabriel evaluated higher than Shedeur Sanders?
Yes.
You think they did? Okay. I'd love to know the truth on that.
Shedeur Sanders, the hype, and just fell into it going, well, he's probably going to be the second quarterback taken just because he doesn't have elite traits. There's nothing that you watch with Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, he can make the throws.
He's an accurate passer.
Got some athleticism. Dylan Gabriel is an accurate passer and does all the same things.
Yeah, I agree.
He just didn't have the hype behind him.
Coming out of college, and I'm not telling you he's going to be better than Josh Allen, but he was a hell of a lot more accurate passer coming out of college than Josh Allen. No?
Yes, he was one of the most accurate passers in college football.
That's correct. All right, when we get back, there's another quarterback competition that's going on that they have no idea where this one's going either, and I'm not sure there's a clear-cut favorite. As you get ready for your fantasy drafts and ready to pick their running back and their receivers and a quarterback there, this could be a little futility contest. We'll get there when we come back. Sean Ryder's going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock in studio, the beat writer for Lobo Football, as they get set to open up a camp as they report today. It's a short sprint now before school starts. Kids are going back. Now's the perfect time to get your car cleaned up before the chaos really, really begins. Your car's been through a lot, right? Road trips, summer adventures, everyday life, storms, monsoon season. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you wherever and whenever it's convenient. You don't take your car to them. I don't know where their office is. I don't know where their shop is. They know where I am. That's what matters. They come out to you at your office, at your home, and clean your car, detail your car inside and out, around the rims, under the hood. When they're done, it looks and feels brand new. That day you took it off the lot, new car feel and smell. Voted best of the city. Talk to them about ceramic coating and paint protection film that keep your car looking flawless. Guards against rock chips and bugs and UV damage. You get that showroom shine through every adventure all year long. While you're at it, get your windows tinted for a cooler, more comfortable drive. Voted best in the city. You know why? Because they're best in the city at what they do. Make sure to give them a call or just book and buy online. Everything is online. Take a look at On the Spot Automotive Detailing at OTSDetailing.com. That is OTSDetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin.
Indianapolis Colts don't have a quarterback competition. They have a quarterback problem. He says that the reports coming out of there that Daniel Jones had an edge on Anthony Richardson is no longer the case. That Jones has not played well, and the assumption was if Jones had a bad training camp, Richardson would have surpassed him. But that hasn't happened either because Richardson hasn't looked good in camp. Now, look, we're a week or less than a week into this, but that's a horrible report coming out of there. The Athletic's James Boyd reported that Daniel Jones has failed to separate himself. 11 on 11 drills, they've both been bad. Jones 23 of 41 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Richardson 19 of 43, 2 touchdowns and interception. Richardson evidently outplayed Jones on Friday, but whatever. They both struggled for the bulk of camp. The bottom line is, 1 week in, and I don't want to lose my mind after 1 week, but it is so rare, JJ, you hear reports from multiple people coming out of a camp that says, dude, neither quarterback looks like it. I mean, they both look bad.
This is your classic, where do you get your news? Because reports yesterday were Anthony Richardson looked good, was layering throws, and had a confident day.
Okay.
So it's like it's
this
really
is Sports
one
Illustrated
camp
and The
report.
Athletic, yeah.
Yeah, and this was one of the CBS Sports guys.
Yeah.
So it's really, it is day to day with the practice reports and the quarterback.
So Anthony Richardson, and from what these guys are saying is Friday, Richardson was better than Jones, but not real good. I don't know what I think makes them better, to be honest. You know, I look at a roster, they're in a division that, I mean, are you going to tell me anybody's great in that division? You think Houston is really good. I think Houston's got an opportunity to be nice. Joe Mixon's hurt, but they got a defensive-minded coach with a defense that's got some playmakers. I think they've got a great receiver and some good receivers. Everything you're telling me about Jaden Daniels now, you were telling me about C.J. Stroud 365 days ago, right?
Yes.
Like the next great top 3 quarterback, top 5. It's Jaden Daniels is now. You were telling me that about C.J. Stroud. So let me watch what happens. I think they got a good quarterback. So I think Houston's good. I think Tennessee's going to be better, and I think Jacksonville has got to be better this year. I'm in on Trevor Lawrence again this year. And I kind of feel like I do when I pick Arizona every year in the NCAA tournament. You know what I mean? Like every year I got Arizona going deep, and every year they get beat early. I kind of feel that way because I've been on Trevor Lawrence the last few years. Like this got to be the breakout for this guy. JJ, doesn't it have to be?
Yes. this is one of those questions, like, how are we supposed to answer it?
Well, but
like, it's, yes, because it could just be then Jacksonville gets fed up. But Lawrence is still one of those guys where it's not Anthony Richardson level. Like, if Lawrence is done in Jacksonville, he's stepping into a starting job and handed the keys one more time. A player like Anthony Richardson is going somewhere, brought in as a backup. Can he catch a couple breaks? Someone get hurt? Type of deal.
So I'm looking at more from the team's standpoint than Trevor Lawrence. I agree with you. He'll get another job, and they'll say, "Well, you were just in a bad situation," and give him an opportunity like
and the Jaguars
like
move on.
Sam
They got
Darnold.
first-year coach Liam Cohen this year, and he'll get pick his next young quarterback.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence gets the Sam Darnold treatment. Well, it was a bad situation, and you'll move on. I think this is the year. I just do. All right, when we come back, he's 27 years old. He is a sophomore. He is a Lobo. How did that happen? Who is he? And what kind of difference does he make? A 27-year-old sophomore. And he's yours. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
The Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, we're open for business on anything that is out there today. Deion Sanders, no updates on the shooting at the NFL building, or the building that houses the NFL office in New York City, where 4 people were killed. But you can get in on anything that we've been through with the camps, the quarterback competitions, Ryan Sandberg's passing. Got some other baseball news that we got to get to as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, thanks for finding us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Dan's in on Trevor Lawrence as well. He calls him Micah because, well, Micah looks like him, our former producer. Jeffrey and Juan Jose, at some point, Micah John has to show up. You can't keep blaming Urban Decay. Jags got to at least make the tournament this year, right? Yeah, I think that's right. Yes. And if not, they got a decision to make. You know, they've invested a lot of money in him. I don't think they cut him, but, you know, where do you go? He's got to stay healthy, and he's got to be better. Yes. 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, he's 27 years old, and he is a sophomore, and he is a Lobo. Sean Ryder's going to be coming up in a little bit, and he the beat writer for Lobo football. And we can maybe talk about exactly how at 27 you keep your eligibility after playing in a pro league. But the Lobos have a new punter. He's 27 years old. I think I told you that 15 times. Daniel Hughes. He's Australian. He played Australian rules football. He's coming over from the City College of San Francisco. Your punter is 6'5", 235. So is your inside linebacker.
Versatility.
Hell yes.
The dude can tackle.
Yes. He's proven that. Yes. Lobos had only one punter. That was Charles Steinkamp, the redshirt junior, during spring drills. So they had a guy from he played for the Preston Football Club Northern Bull Ants, which, by the way, is a great logo. You see the Bull Ants logo?
Solid.
A bull ant, by the way, according to the Australian Museum, is a large, alert ant that can grow up to 40 millimeters. They have characteristic large eyes and long, slender mandibles and a potent, venom-loaded sting. That is a bull ant. For those of you who Sean's a fan of the bull ant shield as well. All right, so at City College of San Francisco, 49 attempts, averaged just over 37 yards a punt, 62-yard best, and 18 of the 49 inside the 20 and 13 fair catches. So, what is that? 18 and 13 would be 31 of his 49 were not returned, which is good. Which is good. By the way, he had 10 touchbacks, so even more than that. The Australian rules football thing, he played 2 seasons in the second run of the Australian League. Again, the whole 27-year-old sophomore thing blows my mind a little bit. The eligibility, I guess it's the way it's
Pay for
going.
play, baby.
Yeah, I guess the way it's going now, right?
Well, it was starting center.
How old is he?
22, but playing pro ball overseas.
Yeah. Oh, basketball. Basketball. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have.
I'm sorry.
Center does play football.
I was like,
too.
wait, what did that?
My
no.
bad.
Yeah. Bullion. Yes. Yeah. Tomislav Bullion, right? I think is how you say that. So they got themselves a. Yeah. We'll talk to Sean how that works, but yeah. I hear you're already penning him, aren't you? Don't push send. I don't want him at my frat parties. All right, yeah. I'm not sure I do either. Let me stay in college football with this. Did you meet Rhett Lashley when he was here with SMU a few years ago? He's the SMU.
Did not get a chance to meet him.
I think he was on our show though, right? I know he was on the show. Yeah, the morning of announcement, Rhett came on. I like Rhett Lashley a lot. Got to spend some good time. This was 2022 when SMU played BYU in the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl, and it was actually really fun watching him and Kalani Sitake, the 2 head coaches, bond. In fact, after the VIP dinner Thursday night, they both said, "Bleep it, we're going to Hawaii to play golf, and we're not our assistants are going to coach the game." Have like they got along really well. I like him a lot. He made some comments a couple weeks ago. And it was last week. That really ruffled a lot of feathers in the SEC, where he said that the SEC necessarily isn't deep, but there's just a lot of parity in the SEC, right? It's kind of what he said. And took a lot of heat for it. He's not backing off. This was yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum show. And you got to take the context into this as well, right? The Paul Feinbaum show was all SEC driven. Paul Feinbaum is the mouth of the South. He made his name, his living doing radio down in the South, and ESPN's picked him up. He's on the SEC network and sometimes on ESPN. Quote, all I said was a comment, and unfortunately it's a factual comment. The same 6 schools have won that league for the last 60 years. It's just hard to argue parity if that's the case. Now, look, I'm not necessarily saying the SEC is better or worse. I think the SEC is, again, a league I respect. It's done a lot of great things. But we live in a day and age where, unfortunately, we're all forced to politic, almost like it's a contest or a pageant to get into the playoffs in certain things. And when that's the case, and one league is considered to maybe need preferential treatment for bids because of their depth, we got to at least look at the facts, end quote. Good for him, man. This is this whole argument against the 4-4-2-2-1. That is this model that the Big Ten is looking for. To expand the college football playoff to 16 and guaranteed 4 bids to the SEC, 4 bids to the Big Ten, 2 bids to the ACC, 2 bids to the Big 12, 1 bid to a group of 5, and then, what is that, 4 and 4 is 8, and 2 and 2 is 12. So there's 3 bids left for Notre Dame and a couple of at-large. And what he's saying, and what most people are saying is, why do you need to guarantee 4 bids to a league when there's going to be years when they're not there? If they're that damn good, they're going to earn them anyway. Right? I think that's where most people have kind of fallen, or at least evolved into, except for the Big Ten people. But I got no problem with what he said. Do you think anything that he said is not factual?
No, and he clarified it. It's like you have to be politicking. You have to be always going for not just your program, but for your conference, because we're still in an era. They haven't decided what it's going to look like next. That at-large berths matter, and people are swayed. Everyone has a bias, and these schools, these conferences are going to keep pushing theirs. I think whatever happens, I don't want to see a format where it guarantees X amount of bids to a certain conference. But even with 11 at-large spots, you're just going to be constantly talking yourself up over everyone else.
Each one of you are. Yeah, he is, and the SEC is, and the Big Ten is. And that's fine. But let this thing play out. Look, there's going to be years, and I say that plural, where the Big Ten beats each other up. Like last year, you would have got 3 Big Ten teams in, right? You got Oregon in, you would have got Ohio State in, you would have got Penn State in. If we're looking at 3, or if we're looking at going to 16 teams. The SEC got Georgia in. Who else got in with the SEC last year? Alabama did not. Tennessee got in. And Alabama would have been the next team out. So you have those 3. But there's going to be a year where you beat each other up, and the Big 12 is going to, let's just say, have Texas Tech and Arizona State and TCU with two losses each. They deserve 3 teams in that scenario. Well, but they didn't play. They only played. West Virginia and Arizona, and we had a tough schedule. We got to play Vanderbilt every week. I get it, man. It's not apples to apples. But at some point, we got to stop rewarding losing. I get you have a tough schedule. I understand that the SEC is tougher than the Mountain West. Nope, right? SEC is tougher than the ACC. Oh, okay. But at some point, and you've heard me argue this for years, winning has got to be the answer. Well, they only beat Arizona, and Oklahoma State's not very good, and Houston's horrible. And I mean, what was Baylor this year? There's Cincinnati's no good. Look, we had to beat Mississippi and Tennessee, and I know we lost to Auburn and Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee, but I mean, our 4 losses are better than their. Come on, I mean, don't you at some point? Doesn't winning have to matter? Or we reward losing because, well, you lost to good teams or perceived good teams?
Well, breaking down who you lost to matters.
Okay.
Especially when you're looking at the wild cards. And when you look at a team like SMU, who got in last year.
Yep.
And lost the championship game to Clemson. They got a little bit of benefit, so.
Yeah, they got in because they won all year, right? I mean, they were 8-0 in their league. Mm-hmm. They won all year. Trying to find their last.
Yeah, they beat Louisville and Pittsburgh.
Because Clemson wasn't on their schedule in the regular season, and I know that, but again, this is the byproduct of having
lost to BYU.
They did lose to BYU. This is the product of having 16, 18-team leagues. When you're playing 8 or 9, you're only playing half.
You don't have to play Houston Christian.
Yeah, you didn't have to, and nor did Alabama have to play Citadel, whoever the hell was on their schedule, right? I mean, they all do it, and I agree with you. They shouldn't.
You either play the games or stop complaining. Because it's never going to be equal. There's far too much
correct.
Up and down from conference to conference. You either go out and play a big game or 2.
Yep.
Who's right? Their big game was BYU. You lost it.
That was their non-conference game last year?
Their big non-conference game.
And they lost. How was that? Oh, yeah. What was the score of that game?
18-15. Yeah.
But they lost. And then they ran the table in their league and lost the championship game, right? So, yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. You can get in on that. We're going to talk with Sean Ryder. He's going to be here coming up at 9 o'clock, the beat writer for Lobo football. Get into that. What do the Lobos have? What's his thoughts after kind of looking at the league and everybody else? When we get back, there's a lot of baseball stuff, not only the passing of Ryan Sandberg, but one of the biggest names in the trade deadline rumor mill got hit on the hand by a 96-mile-an-hour fastball yesterday. How will that change the desire to have him? And one of baseball's biggest stars goes face-to-face in a verbal spar in front of everybody with the commissioner of Major League Baseball. We'll hit that next. Residential, commercial landscaping, maintenance and design, cleanup and repair, construction, rehaul. LaBarge Landscape does it all. You're thinking of some sort of maintenance, some sort of construction, some sort of landscaping project. It is LaBarge Landscape. Over 80 years of experience over at LaBarge. That's why I trust them. That's why I work with LaBarge Landscaping. They are family owned. They are family operated. They are local, specializing in professional landscaping, construction, maintenance, cleanups, irrigation, design, synthetic turf, whatever you need. LaBarge is your answer. They are licensed, bonded, and insured. What does that mean? That means you don't have to worry about anything. You don't worry about someone not doing the job. They do what they say they're going to do. They do it with pride. They do it with detail. They treat your property as if it's their own. I don't care how big your project is or how small. Have them come out, take a look at it. They gave me ideas. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with some stuff. You want to take this out? You want to leave this here? What do you think about this? Love that. Maybe not that. If you're not sure what you want to do, but you know you want to do something, they'll send an expert out, walk you through the process. They'll design sketches. You'll get ideas until exactly what you and your family are looking for is what you have. Me, I needed a little cleanup. I needed some maintenance, sprinkler system. It's just I needed some work on that. There was no question who I was going to call. It was LaBarge Landscape. I'm glad they were my solution. They should be yours as well. 505-345-3000. That's the number. LaBarge Landscape is at 505-345-3000. Go take a look at the gallery on their website. LaBarge, L-A-B-A-R-G-E, LaBargeLandscape.net. LaBargeLandscape.net. Click on there, look at their work, and then give them a call. Whether your project is small or large, the answer is easy. It's LaBarge Landscape.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations.
One of the biggest names in the rumor mill as we get closer and closer now, days away to Major League Baseball's trade deadline, is the slugging third baseman of the Diamondbacks, Eugenio Suarez. And he got hit on the right hand by a pitch in the game against the Tigers last night. It was like a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And it was on the right index finger. It hurt like hell. I mean, just take 95 off the hand and see how that feels. The fear was broken hand, and what will that do to the trade deadline? What will that do to him? I mean, the dude's just been going nuts. I mean, if you haven't followed another guy, like everybody's on the big dumper, and I get it because it's such a great story. This is a guy who, at 34 years old, is having a breakout, 36 home runs, 87 RBI in 104 games. I mean, now, I say breakout. It's not like he's never been there before, but not this early. It's the 7th time he's hit 30 home runs over the last 8 campaigns. But I mean, this is something. JJ, the X-rays are negative. He couldn't bend the finger. Scheduling more tests for today. They'll go from there. He'll be back as quickly as he can. July 1 or August 1, is he a Diamondback or is he a Yankee? I guess they got Ryan McMahon, so he's probably not a Yankee.
Yeah, the Yankees went a little cheaper. McMahon, Ahmad Rosario, infield versatility. Could sway things depending on when Judge can get back in the lineup, DHing, get some power. I expect him to be moved, and it probably will be in the next day or two, which is it's a high price tag for.
So he'll be a Dodger? Kind of.
Why not?
I mean, do you think he's gone? All right. That was one of those, though, man. I mean, whoever, and there's probably a deal. Well, I know that there's deals on the table, but they might have gotten pulled. This story hits yesterday. Bryce Harper, one of the biggest names in the game, evidently had a confrontation with baseball's commissioner, Rob Manfred, during a meeting. Manfred was in the clubhouse. He's been doing these meetings, going around the clubhouse, and Harper got in his face and told him to get the bleep out of our clubhouse if you want to talk about the possibility of salary cap. Baseball is the only non-salary cap league in the 4 major American sports. And the current collective bargaining, the CBA, expires next December, not 25, but 26. The 30 owners are going to push for a salary cap, and there's a big deal. Do you have a problem with one of baseball's biggest names shouting down the commissioner of the league, telling him to get the bleep out of my locker room in front of everybody? Probably a better way to handle that in there.
There's a better way to handle that. It's one where none of those players want to hear it, so they're going to side with their teammate. But that's just a bad look.
Yes. Thank you.
Like, really, man?
Yes.
Like you are a leader, you're a representative, you're still a star player, Major League Baseball, and you're just going to bleep off the commissioner?
And I love that the commissioner clapped back at him and didn't back down, and everybody, by reports, stayed there and got in his face, and by the end they shook hands. I love that the commissioner didn't cower in front of everybody, because that would have been a bad look on him. But he's the leader of baseball. He had to stand there and take it. But I'm glad he clapped back. And yes, there's better ways. Look, you can have a heated argument. You can get into it about your feelings about a salary cap, but telling him to get the bleep out of the locker room in front of everybody and scream down the commissioner, yeah, I think that's bad. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Travis.
Good morning, fellas. How's it going?
Hi, Ruben. What's good?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think JJ is right here on the Bryce Harper Manfred issue. But listen, you're sliding in to these locker rooms and he's doing this all over the league, right? Yeah. And so he's doing this all over the league, and he's talking to these players about not just the salary cap, but also talking to them about a way to get more eyes on baseball, more eyes on the MLB, and all of that. And it's like, go away with that noise.
Why?
And I know the media reports were like, yeah, listen, they shook hands afterwards. But the funny part about those media reports is that they also said that Manfred tried to call Bryce Harper afterwards, and he ignored his phone calls.
Okay.
He said, I'm not interested in talking to you anymore. I said what I needed to say in front of my team in the locker room to your face. By the way, can we just salute Bryce Harper for telling the commissioner of the MLB to his face what he thought? So many of these players, so many of these athletes across sports go to the media with these anonymous reports and say what they want to say, either about the commissioner, whether it's Goodell or anybody else. And listen, he had the courage to say what he wanted to say to his face. Get the F out of our locker room. We're not trying to hear all that nonsense that you're trying to push. And so, I mean, listen, he's obviously a leader.
I'll disagree with you. I think there's a better way to do that. I just do. I just that's cool, man. You told the commissioner to F off. Like that's really cool. But is that a conversation? Are you having a conversation with the commissioner about that? No. Tell him to get the F out of my locker room, because I disagree. I think the office should command a little bit respect, whether you respect the commissioner or not. And I think there's a better way to do that. I just do. I'm going to disagree.
No, and I think I think you're right. I think that's a good point. But to be fair, when he's going into the locker room after a game, is he really looking for a conversation, or is he trying to lecture these players on their behavior and on these other issues that are going on with the MLB?
You think he's there to lecture?
A conversation. Set up a meeting, right? Set up a meeting. Do a weekend with these players. Have them come in. And that's not what he's doing, right? He's going around to these different teams across the MLB. He's sliding into their locker room, and he's having these conversations. And I just don't think that is really trying to facilitate honest dialogue. I think that's about the commissioner trying to play the heavy. But to your point, yeah, listen, probably a better way. He's a vet. He should know better. But I don't know. It's one of those things. But switching gears, you guys had a really insightful conversation yesterday, which I wanted to get in on, but I had a client meeting. We were doing depot prep, so I couldn't jump in. But JJ had some really good points on with respect to investing in Lobo Athletics. This conversation has again popped up. We've had this conversation a lot of times about conference realignment and investing in Lobo Athletics. And, and I think JJ had a really great point about Texas State being really kind of the linchpin and kind of the model of that investment in the way that they have grown over the last couple of years to see where they are now. But I will just make this point, and it's a really, really quick point. Being the bottom of the Big 12 is better than being the number one team in the Mountain West Conference. That's just a fact. When you look at the money that the conferences have generated in terms of their revenue, the Mountain West Conference, I think for fiscal year 2024, there's some concerns that they actually they may run a deficit, but I think it's in the 80s. I think it's like $80, $90 million. the Big 12 generated almost $900 million in revenue, right? And so that's why it is so important to invest in our teams, to invest in local athletics across the board, right, so that we don't get left behind. Because, again, I would rather be the last ranked, if I'm the Lobos, right, and I'm a Lobo alumni, I would much rather be the New Mexico Lobos sitting in the Big 12, taking a chunk of $900 million than taking any piece of,
I want to get into that.
Whatever deficit is running from the $90 million we generated. And that's obviously above the $70 million that we generated the year before that. But the concern that I have is with conference realignment that's happening with the Mountain West Conference is that the Mountain West Conference and its configuration going forward looks more like a glorified WAC, right? And they generated tens of millions of dollars. I think it's less than $30 million.
Travis, you're right. You're right. Yeah, and I got to hit this break. Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. I got to hit this break because I'm super late. But I want to. I'm going to respond to what you said when we get back. Because and Travis, thanks for the call. I got thoughts on this. I'm really curious where you are. Is it better to be the bottom team of the Big 12, top team of the Mountain West? I understand where the money is. I got some thoughts. I bet you do too. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo.
And the previous caller, Travis, you can get in 505-246-0610. Is it inarguable, it's better to be the worst team in the Big 12 or the best team in the Mountain West? It's inarguable that the revenue would be more. I don't argue that for 1 second. And I agree with him that focusing what you're doing with the understanding that there's another round of realignment coming and put yourself in the best position is of utmost importance. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. JJ, how's the fan base going to feel? Yeah, we're in the Big 12, but we're 2-10 in football and basketball. Oh, well, Jeff, I mean, we'll be good at basketball. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, bottom Big 12 would also mean basketball to me, right? And how's the fan base feel when you went from competing for NCAA tournaments and the pit is what the pit is and you're spectacular and now you're up against Texas Tech and Baylor and Kansas and right? And let's just say you are not as good as Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona, Kansas, Baylor, Utah. Like you're the bottom. I don't know. Is it better? You get more money. I got that. Your facilities might be better. Is it better?
Are we talking about, like, from this standpoint? Like, if New Mexico somehow was invited in from this starting point?
No.
Because the answer to that question is yes. And basketball might take a little bit of time.
Okay.
But if you're able to have that revenue investment and spike, which then goes into players with the kind of recognition that you have for basketball, you'd be competing. Do I think you're winning in the Big 12 anytime soon? Even on the hardwood? No. But in a position that finishing 7th in the Big 12 still gets you the NCAA tournament.
I'm not arguing is it better to be in the Big 12 than the Mountain West. His argument was the worst team in the Big 12 as opposed to the best team in the Mountain West.
Yes.
Okay. I would.
It's just so much about money.
What it is, but what is the money getting you? And if you're losing, are your fans showing up? Yeah, they're going to come see Kansas, I guess. But if you're losing, and that was the scenario that was brought forth. But I guess you could get better. And so I think the answer is you're probably right. Grady, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Conference analysts of the OD and the AM. What's happening?
Life's grooving. What's up?
In a similar vein to Travis's conversation, and to piggyback on what we hear a bunch, we need to be like Gonzaga. Well, I think we need to be like a school you had just mentioned earlier. We need to be like Arizona. And here's what I'm getting at. Arizona joined the Pac-10 then from the WAC, like in 1978, 79.
Yep.
And ever since then, they have been, at best, dead average, if not below average in football. can count the number of years they've had great years on one hand. That includes the Teddy Bruschi, Desert Swarm teams, all that. But what they have done in football is they've put money into it. They've kept up. They've kept up with the league, and that's a basketball school. That's a basketball school. That's a baseball school. That's a softball school. That's a swimming and diving school. But because they just kept up in football, they were able to stay in the Pac-10, and then when it got blown up, they were welcomed with open arms into the Big 12. So that's a model, I think that, and let me tell you, as far as promotion-wise, I've been out there a bunch in the last several years between myself and my kids and all that good stuff. So on game day, the local news is down there on campus for their noon broadcast. They have correspondents down there. That stadium, while it's not new, it's been updated a bit.
Quite a
bit. It holds 55, maybe 60,000 people, and they get 40,000 people basically every game. And it doesn't look full because it's not, but Tucson's no bigger than Albuquerque. It's no bigger market, and they get 40,000 people every game. And to go out and, quite frankly, watch them either lose or not play that great or beat mediocre teams. So it's not a question of can it happen. It's versus you just have to make the commitment, and you being the state, the fan base, whomever, just to be competitive and let that feed into your cross country, let that feed into your track, let that feed into your basketball, and it's there. So to me, the model isn't Gonzaga. The model is Arizona.
I agree with you. I just hope it's not too late.
Yeah, well, and that took probably a decade or so. And
yeah, but in a different time, right? In a time where it was growing, not grown. And I just don't know how much more inclusion there's going to be. And the other piece of this is, and I read a really interesting piece yesterday about what Memphis has done with this $200 million offer to go, let us in and we'll sponsor. There's going to be buy-ins now to the power leagues. What Memphis has done,
it changed the game
100%. Like, you're not just going to, all right, well, come on in, just pay your buyout in your old league. No, this is going to be a professional model where it's basically going to be an expansion fee. Like, it's $250 million to get a WNBA expansion team. There's now going to be, and I don't know if the number is going to be $200 million, but hell, they set the bar. There's now going to be buy-in fees to get into these power leagues because Memphis just kind of set that bar.
Yeah, I agree, and that spells trouble. If that moves forward, that spells trouble for UNM.
100%.
It's one thing to invest into a football program. It's another thing. There'd be just pitchforks and torches in the streets by some if we actually came up with a fee to buy into a league. So I hear you. Just try to be like Texas State. Just show the initiative and actually put something on paper, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate the time.
All right, I want to get into that next, JJ, because this is, and I saw you obviously saw the same thing.
Reading the exact same thing at this moment in time, and that thought process, that comment from a Big 12 source changes the game and the answer to the question we just asked.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how are you getting in? Even if, right? Even if it comes up, I don't want to get there next because the game may be completely changed even more. 505-246-0610. Thinking about a bathroom remodel, an upgrade, an update, ADA compliant, like grab bars, anything related to upgrading your bathroom, you should call Rebath of Albuquerque. Rebath, owned, operated locally by Cole and Sarah McCamey. Local people love this place. Cole, the former quarterback at UNM. Sarah comes from a great business family. She is a graduate of the Anderson School of Business. They are the largest full bath remodeling company in the country. Fastest growing, but they're locally owned. They specialize in full look and full remodels. They do it all, from the floor to the finish. You're not a contractor. I'm not a contractor. How do you know what you want? How do you know what you need? This gives you complete peace of mind. There's zero risk because they handle everything from A to Z. They will send a design consultant to your home. There's no high-pressure buy-now tactics. This is solution-based. If you don't know what you want, they have tons of samples. I walked through the showroom, was amazed by what they have. Look, it's complicated. I get it. I did a bathroom relatively recently. Grout, tile, fixtures. What do you want? Paint, blonde. I got it. They walk you through everything. Complete peace of mind. They're reputable. Comes with a nationwide warranty. This is efficiency. This is convenience. Full bathrooms within 5 days. No need for a months-long project. You've all heard the nightmares about it. I have too. They assign a crew. That crew is assigned to your project. They don't get called off. They got to be somewhere tomorrow and somewhere the next, but they'll be back next week and your bathroom is a mess. Complete rebuilds within 5 days. They guarantee it. They are terrific at what they do. Rebath of Albuquerque. Go to the website, rebath.com, click on Albuquerque, and then give them a call. Set up an appointment, 505-312-8922. Area code 505-312-8922. It's Rebath of Albuquerque.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hitting on because what Memphis did may have set a precedent. And this is a story that showed up in a lot of places yesterday, but with the alleged $200 million, right, that they were saying basically, we'll bring it to you to join the Big 12, don't give us any money. Sports Business Journal's Ben Portnoy did a story yesterday, and he said that the administration of Memphis may have drawn an inadvertent line in the sand. If you want to join the Power Four, it's going to cost you more than that. He quotes an anonymous Big 12 source saying, quote, expansion fees will be the new norm. Expansion fees will be the new norm in future realignment within the Power Four. It sets the tone for future realignment. In addition to bringing that brand value, performance value, market value, if you want in, you're going to have to pay the freight. No different than a professional league. That was the quote. JJ, another source says you're going to be hard-pressed for folks to come into leagues now and ask leagues to give up money. College sports were the last vestiges, if you will, where you could get in for free. Jim Phillips is the ACC commissioner. Quote, the desire to get to the Power Four has never been greater. Schools' willingness to do what they can to help put themselves themselves in position is clear, but I just don't see a ton more movement here in the near term. So any talk, I mean, look, New Mexico is probably far from the Big 12, but in the next round of realignment, I know where you want to be. I think for San Diego State, Boise State, Gonzaga, any of these schools who think they're getting Power 4, I think what Memphis just did is create a whole new model.
Yeah, it just took that off the table for so many programs. And when we were asking the question about investment, where do you want to be? Well, the answer is you need to invest just so you can be the best, because if that is the way that conferences are thinking, there's very, very few universities that are going to be able to get into a power conference.
I don't know who. I mean, state universities, where's that money coming from? I don't care if you're Boise State, San Diego State, pick your state. Where's that coming from? What private schools got it? Gonzaga? Come on. I just, you didn't think about that. But you can thank Memphis. And I think it's going to be hard. Like, Memphis will have the money because there's going to be Lowe's and there's going to be FedEx around there. If ever, that might be the answer. But after that, man, I think it's a closed club. Sean Ryder's next, Lobo beat writer for Albuquerque Journal. Let's get you ready for camp as they open up today. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
All right, camp opens tomorrow. Report today. Summer's over. Get to work. Season starts 1 month from tomorrow. We will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the Big House. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck joined in studio for the hour coming up, and I'm looking forward to this. Sean Ryder is the beat writer who does a great job at the Albuquerque Journal. He came in today. Great to see you, man. How you living?
I'm good, man. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the kind words.
No, thank you for coming in. Excited? Have you been to the Big House yet?
Oh, I've been to the Big House plenty of times, yeah.
It's a special spot, and I know a lot of Louisville fans are making the trip out there. So just because my daughter goes there, I mean, that was total coincidence. The pen's got an M on it. But I got people, all right, where should we sit? Where should we go? I'm like, I'm not sure I'm an expert on that yet. Maybe I'll ask the kid, but you probably don't want to go where she's going. It's a pretty special spot that they're opening up.
No, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it is as far as like this kind of buy game stuff goes, like that is kind of a perfect thing. It's a different deal for a lot of fans who like to make the trips and all that. And it is an iconic venue. Even if I wasn't always the biggest fan growing up in Michigan, but yeah.
Well, you're going to cover games there and at the Rose Bowl.
I know,
which
yeah.
Is pretty, kind of amazing.
It's pretty surreal.
We had Jack Lane on yesterday, the Louisville quarterback, who we all believe, and we're going to get into this. We
awesome interview, by the way.
And thank you. He did it. I thought he was, what I say, he had a cerebral confidence to him. Always a concern, right? And look, man, 12,000 the Kibbe Dome's great, but to step foot on the field, your first game, first game. I think the fact that Idaho played at Oregon last year, while 57,000 is not 110,000, it's relatively the same atmosphere. I think that will help them because that can be, nothing wrong with Montana State and South Dakota State, but you step on the field in that place with 110,000, it can be intimidating.
No, and like Montana, the Montana States of the world, like those can be really intense places, especially in November when it's cold and those fans are lit up. But yeah, it is a completely different deal going up to 100,000 in the Big House, and it feels like it's just kind of raining down on you at night.
Do you know him at all? Have you got to spend time with Jack? Yesterday was kind of our first experience.
I spoke to Jack. I'm planning on speaking to Jack tomorrow. Actually, that's kind of a day one guy to talk to after the first practice. But I spoke to Jack, I think twice in spring practice. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with him, and partially that was because he was injured and all that too. So it wasn't as if I was writing about him a whole lot in that regard, but I've liked everything I've seen so far.
You mentioned the schedule, and it's one of those years it's tough. There's 2 bye games on it with Michigan and UCLA. Just talking with Coach and hearing his philosophy, and just taking a big picture approach, what do you think is the best for non-conference scheduling for a school like New Mexico?
Yeah, no, this is something I've actually talked more with Fernando Lovo. Fernando has really said that, this is not the ideal scheduling with the 2 bye games and all that. Whether it's bringing in a lot of money or not, it's not what they want. What they want is the one, kind of P4 bye game, the New Mexico State game, obviously, and then another kind of G5 game that could be, I don't want to say it could be a bye game or anything like that.
Someone who looks like you.
Exactly. You go to a similar program. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, they had UMass that kind of filled in all that, and that's not too.
UTEP was good. UMass was right. Tulsa.
Yep.
Right. That kind of stuff.
Exactly, and then the FCS bye game as well. So that is the ideal model, and that's what they want to get into soon.
Sean Ryder, Albuquerque Journal's global beat writer, is with us in studio today.
How much do you think the backup quarterbacks, whether or not they are ahead of Jake Lane, which I feel, Jack, at this point in time, just their experience in spring can help this team because an injury could happen anytime at the quarterback.
Oh, no, 100%. And I was thinking about this yesterday and trying to figure out the right way to kind of write it, honestly, this week and all that, too. Even if the quarterback competition, a guy like James Lobstein or Cole Welliver, or even, we'll see what Toa Fave looks like coming in as a freshman and all that, too. Even if, those guys don't win the starting job, like, the odds are that they're going to need a strong backup play at some point. It might just be one game, it might just be one half, but they might need a guy to just step up and do that. And I really think, I mean, it's pretty important. You know, the experience that Lobstein got in the spring in particular, you know, where he was the de facto QB1, and granted he was breaking himself into the offense and all that, but now he's had a summer to work with guys in 7-on-7. He's going to have fall camp and all that too. I'm not saying it's always going to be perfect or by any stretch of the imagination. It's still year one in a new system. But at the same time, it is really important. It can't be understated.
Toa Fave comes in as a freshman. I'm enthralled, and I don't know why, because I haven't even seen him with Cole Welliver at 6'7", and his accolades. You've been here a few years. We've been here a lot of years.
Tall white guy, Jeff. I know why you like him.
Yeah, with a big, strong arm. Who, I mean, it's somewhat prototypical. I mean, I'm a short.
That's an
guy.
old school quarterback these days, not proto.
It's a Jared Goff kind of a quarterback. It's you're right. It's an old school proto. But we've been doing this a lot of years. I mean, there was a string where every Monday a coach would come on where I would ask who's your quarterback next week, whether it was injury or play. Right? I mean, going back to Cole Gauchi or whomever, knowing the history of this program and Jack's been injured over time. I think it's essential that the backup quarterback's big. Do you have a leader in the pack for that number 2 job? Is it Lobstein?
I would say right now it's Lobstein. I asked Eck in particular at Mountain West Media Days if he thought it was a 2 kind of horse race heading into heading into a fall camp, excuse me. And he didn't quite do that. There was a bit of hesitation, but he did say, look, those guys are the clear front runners right now. We're going to have to get eyes on Welliver and see if he's able to play his way into the competition.
Have you seen him yet?
I have only seen the bits and pieces that he's had at UConn and then some of the high school tape, but I haven't seen him live.
Like, are you interested? Because I there's something about a kid who was so successful in Texas high school and at 6'7", and I get it. Who is it?
That might be an inch too tall, actually.
Who was it that said it's too tall to be a quarterback? Right?
I think it was you're joking with Stig, but there is that line of is there too much involved?
Yeah. At
that point, with just the mechanics, but with what we know about the offense, that could be fine if they're leaning on the run game,
and get it
play
out
action, 1 or 2 reads as opposed to trying to keep things low.
I like what I've seen on tape. I think he's got a huge arm. I mean, he might end up having the biggest arm of anybody on the team, frankly. I just got to see him, kind of live in practice at this point, though.
He's Sean Ryder, Albuquerque Journal's beat writer for Lobo football. He's in studio. I want to backtrack, and we'll get into specifics. Sean's going to be in for the whole hour. We had a caller who said, and we were talking about realignment, and I know you heard us talking about potential what Memphis did, and is it going to be expansion fees? And I think it will be now. I think they set a precedent. Caller said it's better to be the worst team in the Big 12 than the best team in the Mountain West. And I think the obvious is, well, yeah, you're in the Big 12, you're in the Power Conference. So you're getting way more money, okay? So your facilities might be nicer. I don't know how long your fan base is going to live with being the worst team in anything, and anybody's fan base is going to be there. Just getting there, your thoughts with the realignment now, what's happening next year, and knowing that there's something coming when this grant arises. The importance of football for this athletic program, you know where I stand. I've been pretty clear on this. I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on it.
No, and look, we all know football drives the bus. I mean, and that is, Grammer had reporting. My colleague Jeff Grammer, the great Jeff Grammer, had reporting.
He's all right.
He's probably listening right now. Grammer, he attended the economic forum that Fernando Lobo spoke at last week and all that too. And really what I thought was incredibly interesting from his comments was that you don't see a lot of coaches and ADs put timelines on things. You don't really see them ever do that. Fernando Lobo essentially said, hey, by 2030, we want to be in a good spot across the board in the athletic department. And we, heavily alluded to the idea that we want to get football right by that period and be trending in an upward direction at that point, because that's when the thinking is that's going to be when a lot of the next wave of conference realignment, because that's when the bulk of these media deals are going to be up and kind of up for renewal and all that as well. So if you're in a good spot by that point and you have the opportunity to make a jump, I mean, you're going to have football in a good position, and you're going to have to keep basketball rolling, and you're going to have to keep doing other things correct, and you're going to have to keep investing as well. But
I look at this, and I hate saying it. I don't say this with any joy or glee. New Mexico got left behind.
Oh, yeah.
When there was a split, these other schools went on, and whether you think the Pac-12 is better or not, you can't make an argument that your basketball league is going to be better next year than it is this year. You just can't. And so why were you left behind? Well, you were 49th in Learfield Cup, best group of 5 school.
Mhm.
You had more academic All-Americas. You're a research institution. You won national championships. You won more every check, and there's one box unchecked.
Football.
It's football, and I don't know how to make it any clearer. You're not cheating on Lobel basketball if you support football.
No, not in the slightest. And to be fair, I think there are, even in the time that I've been here, I think there are, and I truly, like, I don't like mean to talk down or anything like that, but I think there have been like more fans that have kind of recognized that, especially, when it was last fall and there was that kind of realignment panic and all that too. And it's like, hey, we really need to get out and support the product, and we need to get behind this new guy.
But to that point, right? And Jay just brought this up a bunch of times. Here you had this wave of excitement around Bronco, and maybe it's because they lost the week prior, right? But the Washington State game, you got a ranked team come in. If you win your last 2, you get bowl eligible. And maybe nobody thought they were going to beat Washington State, right? But they didn't show up, right? Well, whatever the reason was, they didn't show up. Well,
I think what, to add to that, it's almost like if they don't show up then, when they know it's a process, turnaround, people are willing to give Bronco Mendenhall time. They said, oh, we're all in. Bronco Mendenhall chose us. This is awesome. And even in that moment, it had to be, well, you didn't win the week before, or you didn't win 3 games in a row. It's like you have to start 8-0 to get someone to pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been here a couple of years. I don't know the whole ins and outs, and I don't know how to fix it entirely. But actually, I think I do know how to fix it entirely, although it wouldn't be me fixing it. It's just consistent, good football and an attractive product.
Well, when we come back, I want to hear how you fix it entirely. I'd love your thoughts, because we've been kicking this around. I've been here, I think this is my 29th or 30th football season here. I'd love your thoughts on that. And I want to hear your thoughts on maybe the differences, pros, cons, moving forward with the coaching change. You spent a year with Danny Gonzalez. You spent a year with Bronco Mendenhall. You spent now with Jason Eck going into it. And it's
I might be the problem. I feel like I'm the problem now.
Now that I think about it, scram. Sean Ryder's in studio. He's going to stick around. Maybe he'll scram at 10 o'clock after this. We're going to talk about that stuff when we come back with a Lobo beat writer for Lobo football from the Albuquerque Journal on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans.
Coach I've covered, and that's 3 in 3 years for me now, has made the point, like, we need to win. We need to win, play consistently attractive football and all that too. The other big thing for me, and this is, this has been kind of in the headlines and all that too recently, so it's a little bit more on my mind and all that. But yeah, you got to fix University Stadium. I mean, you need to upgrade it in some meaningful capacity. They're upgrading the video board right now, or actually I should say replacing the video board. Exactly, doing that. So the video board size is not changing, but the pixel panels that create the the sharp color and contrast and all that, those are being taken out. Will be good to go before the home opener, maybe even a little bit earlier than that too. But yeah, in a conversation I had with Fernando Lovo, last week, he kind of mentioned the points. I asked him straight up. I was like, when you look at University Stadium, and I know you've only done, spring practice and kind of being in the stadium there, and the spring game, the New Mexico Bowl and all that. You haven't done the true New Mexico game day experience and all that. But when you look at that, University Stadium through that lens, like, what do you see? And he's like, well, we would like to, we would like to have more adequate, restroom facilities to a certain degree. We'd like to upgrade concessions. Upgrade concessions. There isn't a true grab and go option and all that too, and that's obviously pretty attractive as well. And then the idea that, and this is a bigger structural thing. I don't even know how you would fix this. I'm not an architect or a developer, or I'm not a specialist in that by any stretch of the imagination. But the idea of, look, there's no true concourses or anything like that. And, when you are out there in the afternoon on a hot, kind of a late August or early September game, it is brutally hot, and there is just no respite from that.
Here's the reality. And by the way, I didn't have Sean in just because he's singing my song a little bit. I mean, I agree with you. You got a stadium that was built in 1960. Last I checked, that was 66 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah.
65 years ago. You got a 65-year-old stadium that has had minimal upgrades. You can close the north end zone. You built the Todeum on the south end zone. You took out a tree, right? It's got no premium seating, and I know some of you say you don't need premium seating. See what they did at the pit. I would argue that the premium seating at the pit has been sold out when the team's doing well and it's generating revenue. I would tell you for a bowl game, I sell out of premium stuff. I don't sell out of other stuff. You do need more premium seating, whether that's sideline clubs, end zone clubs, more suites. You do. You need a better press box. You need more suites. You need better restrooms. You need fan experience. All those things are right. Bottom line is it's a 66-year-old stadium, 65-year-old stadium that has not been renovated very much.
No, and there is a base to, and I don't know where the turning point was. I have not been here all that long, and I don't know the history of the stadium as well as you guys do. There is it's a thought I've kind of had. At some point, this probably could have taken a path to becoming kind of like an old classic and all that too, to a certain point. I think like War Memorial in Laramie and all that.
But look at all the updates they've done. They
exactly
built that club on the other side. They're redoing the press box side.
Yeah, and I think it's all done already. And
the press boxes,
substantial work, and you put all that in, and now it's a really nice stadium.
No, and the new facility they built on that left end from the press box, I'm going to guess that's north, but I'm not sure. But yeah, all those things.
Well, I would say, and then the market, because Laramie got left behind.
Yeah.
And they have this investment you're screaming about.
No, they
so
do.
Do you have enough of the other stuff that the investment is attractive? At this point, in that nugget that we were just discussing, like if it gets to the point of buy-in, then don't worry about Power Conference. That's when you have to just say, hey, we have to invest to be the best in whatever we're going to be able to do.
Well, I think that's right. I think, Sean, as we look at this next rung of realignment, I'm not sure you're getting in the Big 12. UNLV probably took a big hit the other day when Memphis created this buy-in.
Yeah.
Where they think they're getting it. But what are you going to be, right? Is the Mountain West going to be here? What does it all look like? You need to put yourself in the best possible position. You'd love to be in the Big 12 or whatever power conference will have you. Odds are against it. I don't know that it's zero, but it's not great. You've got facility, performance. It's football, man, and it's the lack of investment that you've dug yourself a hole. And the last 15 years have been the worst time in the history of college football to be not good at football.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's not a. Look, you don't want to say it's a death sentence. I mean, if you do enough of the right things, I can see a path where things change for you. Change for a program, change for a school in the next coming years and all that, because, it's not like conference realignment is going away by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be different, but yeah.
All right, Sean Ryder, Albuquerque Journal's beat writer. You worked with Danny Gonzalez your first year here covering the beat. Next year you had Bronco. Now it's Jason X. So you've run gamut. I always tell people Bronco's a great dude. Like there's not a negative thing to say. He's just very guarded, very different. You had an outgoing guy who'll sit down with you for 45 minutes in Danny. You had a guy in Bronco who was very guarded, who was very, you knew what you were getting, you knew what you weren't, right? And here's your time frame, and as soon as you hit that time, he's up and out and on to the next thing. And now you got Eck, who is much more, at least now, he hasn't lost a game yet, much more back to the swing. I told people when Bronco left, you're going to be fine. I said, look, he's a good coach. He went 5-7, one game better than Danny did. He had Danny's quarterback, Danny's best offensive player, receiver. He had two studs on defense that were Danny's, and he won one more game than Danny's team did. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to get another coach. People were losing their mind. How do you feel about that?
I totally get why fans were upset. I absolutely do, and I don't know if I saw more fans freaking out, the sky is falling, like we're never going to be good at football, as I did just fans obviously just being really upset with Bronco and all that too. Of course, the context of some moments he had through the year and some things that he said that kind of all got thrown back in his face. And to be fair, look, I do believe that Bronco to me has always been a really straightforward guy. I do believe he meant a lot of that stuff. It's just that things changed for him at some point in terms of taking the Utah State job and all that.
Whenever that was.
Exactly. Whenever that was. But no, yeah, look, covering Jason, obviously, I mean, he is, like you said, right back swing towards Danny's direction. He's an easy guy to talk to. He will give you his time. He's accessible. But I don't think he's look. And this is not me talking about Danny or alluding to any other previous coaches or anything like that. I don't think he is just happy to be here though, by any stretch of the imagination. I think he is a guy that he's a guy that really wants to work and really wants to lift things up and kind of keep moving with it. I know he was on vacation, in Hawaii recently and all that too, before we had to media days and all that. And I asked him, like, did you just come straight from Hawaii? And he's like, no, I came, I was back home for a day. I'm like, did some stuff. He was like, my wife was worried I was going to like go into the office for a little bit too and all that. Like that's that. And I think, there's something to be said about, Bronco. He's a big believer in the idea that, he always wanted to be kind of he wanted his staff to work the least and be successful in college football. He believed in that balance and all that too. But I think if you are in the process of lifting this program up, it's going to be a grind, and you need a grinder.
All right, we got a break. When we come back, I want to get into the roster a little bit.
Yeah.
I've said it, you've said it, a lot of people said it. It's somewhat of an FCS all-star team.
Mm-hmm.
Can that be successful at this level? I want to get into the theory of I want guys coming up where this is the best place they've ever been as opposed to guys coming down that maybe they don't appreciate. I want to get into your thoughts and how successful they can be as you go through this roster. Sean Ryder is in studio. He is the beat writer for Lobo Football for the Albuquerque Journal. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Zone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProV Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more.
Their quarterback, is it going to be Underwood? Will it be Mikey Keene? I mean, either way. So they got like one of the highest touted freshman quarterbacks coming in the country.
In a long time, yeah.
And they paid him a lot because LSU had him. Well, a guy that you're familiar with, Mikey Keene, who was really good at Fresno State.
I think Sharon Moore said last week that it is a true competition. They are not just handing the job to Bryce Underwood, the pride of Belleville, Michigan, a ridiculous program out there. They've been really good for a hot minute. I would be interested to. There is a part of me that still believes that it's going to be Underwood, off of the things that I've just kind of seen and heard from Michigan reporters and all that too. But again, I've seen Mikey Keene at the New Mexico Bowl play absolutely tremendous.
He's pretty good,
and I think he is a guy that can be a good starter at the P4 level.
Yeah, my gut tells me Underwood as well, but and they're clamoring. I tell this story, JJ. I know you've heard it. When we were out for a game last year, it was the New Mexico State game weekend. And so I was sitting in a bar. Audra and I were having a drink, and they had like Penn State and Ohio State on one screen, and Indiana versus two Big Ten games on. So I had my phone up, and I was watching New Mexico State. That was that 50-40 game, right? Mm-hmm. And a guy comes up next to me, and he orders a drink. He says, "What game you got going on there?" I told him. He says, "I don't have enough money to care about that game." Right? That's how he responded. But then he starts watching it, and Devin was having an unbelievable game. He's like, "Who's that guy?" And I start telling the story. So now he's got his drink, and he's watching my little phone. And he's like, "Man, we should buy that quarterback." And Audra's like, "What the hell does he mean he's going to buy the quarterback?" Baby, that's how this works now, right? Portnoy just giving him a bunch of money to go buy a quarterback. But they're dying for a quarterback, and that's why I think Underwood's going to be their guy.
No, yeah, look, I think it's cool. I think there are going to be points this season, I should say, where Mikey Keene does play, and I give them a lot of credit for going out and still getting a really good guy in the portal. But yeah,
all right. This roster that New Mexico has, as you look at it top to bottom, I tell JJ and anybody who'll listen, I'm really interested. How good are the Lobos going to be? And I'm like, I don't know, right? And maybe that's how it's going to be every year. When you turn 50-something dudes over in a roster like this, and they do somewhat have an FCS All-Star team, how good is this roster? And do you buy into, because there's part of me that does. You'd rather have a guy, I go back to Bill and the Alabama State guys who were such good transfers opposed to guys like Medford or somebody who came from TCU. Who was more impactful on the Lobo team? The guys coming up, who this is the best place they've ever been, as opposed to guys who were at Power 4 programs that maybe they're not. And I'd love your thoughts on where the roster is and that thoughts on recruiting.
Well, I agree with you. I think you're alluding to the point. Like my philosophy has been, since the transfer portal's become so prevalent, is that even when I'm looking at teams that I like and stuff like that, I prefer the idea of an up transfer as opposed to a down transfer and all that too. The up transfer from FCS to P4, that's kind of a mixed bag at this point. I do believe the up transfer from FCS to I don't have any numbers in front of me. This is completely anecdotal. A lot of times, and certainly while covering New Mexico, the up transfer from the FCS to G5, like New Mexico, yeah, that's going to be that's usually a if not pretty impactful, a pretty decent transfer in a lot of respects. So I think, and then I don't know a whole lot about, I don't have the numbers for like any Division II transfers or anything like that. But yeah, no, and these are guys that, Scott Trey Humphrey, guys that were overlooked, at certain points in their careers and all that. Keyshawn James Newby was a guy that was playing, oh my gosh, NAIA ball, and then he becomes an FCS All-American, and now he's a guy that's on, Shrine Bowl watch list and all that too. So I think it's, to sum up the roster, I think it's kind of, there's still a lot of unknown, because if they're 3-9, 2-10 by any stretch, we're not going to look at them and say what a great roster this is. But I like the makings of it, and I do respect Eck for kind of coming in with a clear philosophy of, hey, we know these guys can play at this level because we worked them before.
So it's not just hype season, it's hope season. The week before Media Days, we were discussing, it felt like everyone could convince themselves of a number, could convince themselves, hey, we could get to 6 wins in the Mountain West. When you were out there and talking, not just to coaches and players, but some of the other media guys, did you get the sense that was kind of the vibe for a lot of these teams?
Yeah, and to be clear, I think everybody still believes that, it's Boise on top, more or less. But absolutely, that was the vibe I got, in the sense of, if the quarterback situation breaks for a lot of different teams, like, this could be a really, really interesting league. And if the quarterback situation doesn't break for a couple teams, then, yeah, there's going to be some issues.
Second best team in this league is UNLV, right? And they might be the best?
I go back and forth between them and San Jose State.
Okay,
I voted UNLV second in my preseason poll, but it was close to San Jose State.
So, and I've been on San Jose State. I think what they put together, first, I think Kenny Matalolo is a terrific coach, and what he's recruited up there is really good. Their footprint is solid, but what they've done, I agree with you on San Jose State. Mullen, now this is the opposite of what's going on here, right? The guys transferring up as opposed to theoretically coming down from group of 4 to power 4 to group of 6. He's got, I think, 50-something transfers from power conference teams. He is a tremendous coach. He's been an SEC Coach of the Year. He's going to be, and I thought the scrum around him was, I don't want to say Deion-like, but it was unlike anything we saw.
I've been to media days in the past, and different leagues and all that. I have never seen a consistent scrum around one coach in the way that Dan Mullen drew. Yeah, and I know he's in Vegas, but even then, that's still unusual.
How impactful will he be there? Because they were like what Odom did last year. They've become legit. They become a destination for football. They've got a great place to play. I don't know if you've seen the Fertitta Center, but they put $25+ million in their football facility.
Oh, yeah.
They were New Mexico in football 5 years ago. They're on a different level right now.
Yeah, no.
They invested.
In terms of, they invested, and in terms of Mullen's impact and all that too, it was kind of I don't want to say a major shock, but certainly it was like, wow, they went out and got a dude, because obviously Mullen's been, really successful, even if Florida didn't end great. But no, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to be impactful regardless. We'll see how impactful this first year in terms of fitting in all those different guys together and figuring things out, because there's a lot of talent. You just got to figure out a way to work it all together.
Is there a big gap between the top 3 and the rest? So you say Boise, and there could be a big gap between 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. So there's Boise State, and however you have it, UNLV, San Jose State. Is there a big gap then between whether it's Colorado State, Air Force, Fresno State, whoever you think is next?
I think there's a gap. I don't think it's a big gap. I don't think it's like last year where at certain points, even as teams like Wyoming played Boise really well, and San Jose, if it wasn't, if they weren't playing in a monsoon, maybe they would have had a better shot against UNLV in a tight game. There were points last year where it felt like it was just Boise, UNLV, and then everybody else. Bronco even said it a good amount of time. I don't think it's as big of a gap between the top 3 this year and the rest. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't think some of the 4, 5, and the 6 are all that far off, but I don't think they're really close either.
Going into a season, you look at pressure. We talk about it all the time, whether it's a quarterback or a coach, and so there's 4 new coaches in the league. Air Force isn't going to do anything. Boise State, you expect them to be good. So is there any other guys, whether it's Wyoming, Hawaii, heck, maybe even San Diego State, like coaches that might be on the hot seat?
Coaches on the hot seat. I think if
Sawville.
Yeah, if things go sideways with Savell
That's
again,
Wyoming.
and I know they feel good about what they have, but yeah, no, I know they feel good about what they have, but they have a brutal turn of schedule where they get Utah and Laramie, then Colorado, and then they play a bunch of good Mountain West teams all in a row. So if that doesn't turn out well, and they start off 2-5, 2-6, I mean that's going to be pretty tough for them.
Because everybody else is relatively new, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he's only his second year as head coach. But the other one's San Diego State. I think with that new stadium and that fan base and going into the pack, I know what they expect, and they think there's something. And what Sean's brought there, 4 wins wasn't good enough. And offensively, JJ and I sit here and scratch our head every year. Why can't they find a damn quarterback?
Yeah, I don't think a guy like that should be. I don't think a guy like that should be on the hot seat, given the actual field turf he is given to play on. I mean, that is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Yeah,
you're right.
It is absolutely insane. If you're not giving him that, I don't know what to say there. And I think other side of the border war, you have a hard time seeing him get fired at the end of the season if things go really, really poorly. But if Norvell flops, I mean, yeah, there's going to be questions again.
They're invested there, but it's a different AD.
Yeah,
it's a different athletic director. All right, Sean Ryder's in studio. One more segment. When we come back, I want to get into the schedule for New Mexico a little bit and what will be. The word I'm going to use is acceptable season for UNM. What does an acceptable season look like for Lobo football? Sean's in 505-246-0610. Hey, fantasy season's here. Twin Peaks is your place to draft like a pro. So now through September 4th, go ahead and book your fantasy football draft party and score big. You get a full draft kit, a $50 kickback card for the commissioner, $5 kickback cards for every league guest, plus sip on local specials and enter to win $1,000 in cash thanks to Molson Coors. And do not miss the Hall of Fame game. That is coming up on Thursday. Lions and Chargers. Football's back. Twin Peaks is your front row seats. And then Fridays in August, heating up at Twin Peaks. It's tequila and cervezas. Every Friday, sample Mexico's finest tequilas, sip 29-degree cervezas, and enjoy fiery lingerie parties. Whether you're into handcrafted margaritas or straight-up shots, that's your Friday night destination is Twin Peaks. And from August 11 through 15, do not miss the back-to-school costume party. Celebrate the end of summer with scenic views, epic drink specials all week long. It's cold drinks and it's good times. It's only at Twin Peaks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet.
Wrapping it up with Sean Ryder, the beat writer for the Journal. Read him every day. His coverage has been terrific, and it's only going to get better as he gets more and more content. Camp opens tomorrow. Lobos report to camp today, and we're talking Lobo football. All right, what is a successful might be the word, but I'm going to work with the word acceptable season, do you think? And I guess the question then would be, well, acceptable for whom, right? For administration, for the team, for fans. But what's an acceptable season for Lobo football, understanding new coach, new roster, the schedule? I mean, look, you play at Michigan, at UCLA, at Boise State, at San Jose State, at UNLV, I believe at Air Force. So right
at Air Force.
So your 6 road games, you did not catch a break in the league schedule. The teams you miss might be, you don't get Wyoming this year. You got the top 3 teams on the road. So what's acceptable?
So to be clear, Jason Eck has mentioned this point multiple times. It's like, we want to be better than we were last year. Okay. Last year we were 5-7. If we're going to be better, we need to be in a bowl this year. That is the expectation. That is what they want. That is the public expectation. I think for me, given the schedule, I think if you go to 5-7 this year in year one, where you're always going to have depth issues in year one, regardless. Like, and maybe not across the board, but you're always going to have that exactly. Now the offensive line, we'll see. I mean, they got some real depth there, and I especially on the interior. The defensive line, I got to see more during fall camp. I know that some guys have said that they feel, Gabe Lopez in particular, have said that they feel that this is the deepest offensive line they've had in a minute. Sorry, defensive line in a minute. But at the same time, I got to see it to believe it. So for me, I think record-wise, I think 5-7, 4-8 would be acceptable. 2-10, 3-9. Look, it's year one. Anything worse than that, it's year one, and
so 4 wins. 4 wins
to me is the kind of floor, and you're competitive.
Yeah.
Maybe you have one really, a game against
Michigan.
Like that, or like you went up to Boise and you played them really well and it just got away from you because you're on the road and all that too. But yeah, you need to have 4-8, 5-7, feel like things are going upwards.
So much of that is the eye test.
I agree.
It's easy.
Totally agree.
It's 4 or 5 wins. But how do they look in it? Are they competitive? Do you just see a team that was better? Because there's been deficiencies with both sides of the football at different times. And can you find any consistency? Because last year you had the best individual quarterback season ever at the University of New Mexico. And the defensive guy couldn't get the defense locked in. So can you just find some consistency on both sides of the football?
Yeah, and it's the element, too, of I think one thing that will work in their favor to a certain degree is, look, if they go out and they get smashed by Michigan, I don't think fans are going to be particularly happy with that, but what'd you kind of expect, right? This is going to be a really good Michigan team. So you do have a bunch of hard games to kind of start your season, and all that. Now, you do have, the Idaho State game and the New Mexico State game and all that as well to,
Throw UCLA in the middle of that.
Yeah. Although I'm kind of talking myself into UCLA being something this year.
Everybody's talking themselves.
I feel like I'm talking myself into UCLA and Washington being something this year.
Yeah, everybody's talking UCLA.
Nico, I'm gonna leave you wanting more.
I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah. I'm a Tino Sunseri guy. I like what he's bringing to the table there.
I mean, they get a stud quarterback coming in. They got a loaded transfer portal. Everybody is. You got a 27-year-old sophomore just transferred in. I mean, all right. So what? Tell me you're in 2025 without telling me you're in 2025. Lobos just get a punter from City College of San Francisco. He played Australian rules football for the Bull Ants, which, by the way, is a venomous ant, which is a great shield. I agree with you on that. I looked at that logo. I'm like, it's terrific.
It's pretty great.
How the hell is he eligible at 27 years
old? Well, the Australian rules football, that again, you know this. It's always when just when you start your clock and all that too. So I mean, last year they had Colby Brewer, who was starting off at 29 years old. He just had never started his eligibility clock earlier. So I mean, Australian rules football, it was a semi-pro league. It was not the fully professional league like the Australian Football League. I'm saying the same terms over and over again here. But no, he started his clock last year at City College of San Francisco, and I'm excited to talk to him. Victoria, Australia native, so should be cool.
All right. Sean Ryder, read him every day. Your Twitter handle's what?
My Twitter handle I should probably change, but it's at Lenaway Ryder.
Oh, yeah, everybody's going to find it. Spell that.
Lenawareider. So I have a weird county name in the handle, and then I spell my last name weird, too.
Reider.
Reider.
All right. I look at this, and I'm excited. I don't know. Have you got a sense just around town? And it's hard to get out of our bubble sometimes, isn't it? Like you and I just were at Media Day. We're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense around town? Is there an excitement? And then the other thing I wanted to ask you on census. I told JJ when I got back, the sense that people just loved Eck, the respect that he had amongst other coaches and the people who were meeting him there, I thought was really, really just incredibly positive in who that dude is.
No, and I don't have a sense for. I think last year there might have been a little more excitement in the sense that you had a lot of branding things that they were very conscious about. The earn not given, and the desert is. I forget what that slogan even was, and all that. And they really wanted to push that and all that too. And it still felt like, wow, we really got Bronco Mendenhall and all that too among fans. I don't know if it's quite to that level this year, and part of that is they haven't hammered the brand or anything like that. But I think it's also people look at a guy like Eck and they feel good about that. Like this is a genuine guy. Like we like what he's bringing to the table and all that. Now he's undefeated, hasn't played a game here yet. Everybody always says they're right. The games are what matters and all that, and that's the kind of the mark of the good coach, bad coach, and a coach in between. But yeah,
Idaho State game's huge, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's big because nobody expects you to go beat Michigan, and I think they're 35-point dogs now, which feels light, but okay, I'm down with that. But I think everybody expects you like that's the game everybody wants to see. All right, you know what? New Mexico lost to Montana State last year.
Great game, awesome game.
It was, but it was an FCS team that people don't understand was a team that went to the semifinal and was really, really good. You lose to another FCS. I just JJ and I talk about this all the time. You lose that kind of game in September. Is anybody coming back? I think it's a huge game, don't you?
It could be curtains because if you start out 0-3 and then New Mexico State, there's always a buzz about that game.
Okay.
But I think they have to come out of that stretch 2-2.
So that means they have to beat Idaho State and New Mexico State. They had to win their home games.
At home, especially with the road schedule we've talked about.
I just think the Idaho State game's huge for them to feel good. Whatever's going to happen coming out of Michigan, man. Look, do they pull something off? Is it App State? That'd be wonderful. I mean, are you expecting it?
I am not expecting it currently.
Nor am I.
But then again, nobody was expecting App State. Nobody was expecting that. But I do agree. I think that Idaho State game and that New Mexico State game, if you don't, I don't want to. If you come out of that stretch, 1-3, obviously, those first 4 games, like it's gonna feel really tough to feel like anything else is getting accomplished.
I know you've looked a little bit at New Mexico State. How are they?
Look, the big issue last year, and we all know this, was quarterback play. Yep. And I'm trying to make a trip down there in the next couple weeks and talk with a couple guys over there. Getting Logan Fife feels like just Logan Fife being there and having seen Logan Fife play in the Mountain West and be around the college football. I think they could stand to be a lot better. Yeah. Now maybe by 2 wins, 3 wins, and all that, but 3 wins would get you to a bowl. So.
Read him every day in the Albuquerque Journal. He's Sean Ryder. Appreciate you spending time with us, man. I know it's early in the morning. You work late at night, so thanks for getting up and coming in. You combed his hair and everything. It's good.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd's next. Jim Rome shows after that. 2 Men On steps in at 4, and then you get the Isotopes starting a homestand at today against the Sacramento River Cats. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio. Then, Adrian, great work on the visuals. A little extra camera for you to throw in. Appreciate you. He's J.J. Buck. I'm Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Has handed down values written in stone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavis, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.